here. Welcome to a practice edition of the Garden Report. Josue Pavon here. We hit both practices today, Heat and Celtics. And of course, the big story of the day, the Caleb Martin foul, the fallout, Brian Scalabrine and insinuating that it was intentional. It was called, and the code red. So Caleb asked about it today. Here's what he had to say about the foul, and said it wasn't intentional.
I mean, anybody who knows me, I'm not, I don't feel the need to try to take out guys in order to beat, in order to beat somebody. I like to, obviously I like to. The first thing I did is turn around and check if he was okay. If I was trying to take somebody out, I'd have just kept walking away. And that's just not who I am. It's the playoffs. Hard fouls happen all the time. And if the roles were switched, I don't think anybody would have been calling it a code red. So that just happened. And if anybody watches it, I clearly got pushed into him. I was going for a putback dunk, and the push changed the trajectory. And it's just, this stuff just happens. Guys are playing full speed, and things happen. So I never try to hurt somebody.
How surprised were you when you kind of heard everything that was being made of it after?
I wasn't too surprised, honestly. I mean, it's that time of year where things get, amplified, and everybody likes to try to have a say in something, and it's just that time of year. Anything that's done wrong or hard fouls happen to certain people, they're going to be made out to, like you're trying to take guys out and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's just what comes with this time of year, so I'm not sure.
So, mentions that he went to go help him up. I talked about that too. It probably wouldn't be something you would do if you were trying to do something intentionally there. Does appear like he got shoved a little bit by Drew into him when you go back and watch it on replay. And then no action by the league not going to fine or suspend Martin, they announced today. Spoelstra pretty much shrugged it off as well. And even the Celtics to some degree said, we didn't think it was anything either. Jaylen felt like he saw a little something, and that's why he responded the way he did. But both sides toning down that a little bit. But it'll be interesting to see if there's any follow-up from it.
Yeah, I mean, the heat of the moment, maybe it happens organically, but I think at this point both sides are just ready to move on. I think when enough time has gone by and people don't feel the same way as they felt, hours or even moments afterwards, right? Because it happened so at the end of the game. I think it's pretty telling as to how much of an impact it really had. And yeah, we expect that physicality, and sure, Celtics Heat, that's always going to happen regardless of what either team looks like, shorthanded or not. But I just think that because of the situation, some people saying, well, why did Joe Mazzulla still have his starters in? And other people saying oh, well, you have to control yourself better in that situation. But it's really hard to say if you ask me. I don't think there's a flat out this guy deserved to be tossed or this guy deserved to be fined for something like this. So I think because of that, everyone's ready to move on. And I think that the physicality and the tension, that's always going to be there. Maybe this amplifies it a little bit, but I really just think both sides are ready to move on and just continue with the series.
Joe Mazzulla said Tatum came out of it fine, practiced today, just like he did on Sunday. So no injury concerns there. Didn't see Luke Cornett down there either. We'll see what the injury report says about him today, but that's the only one up in the air. We saw Terry Rozier at Heat practice.
That's right, yeah.
He did not appear to practice. We were in there before practice, but it didn't look like he was going to practice. Had the ball in his hands, but wasn't shooting, wasn't warming up or anything like that. Eric Spoelstra's described him as day-to-day in the reports, say week to week. So interesting with the neck ailment. When we see him at all in the series, it doesn't seem like it right now, but he's around the team. He traveled, and we'll keep an eye on him there. Otherwise, Mazzulla said you're fooling yourself if you're not expecting a different Heat team in this next game. I think we've both felt that they're there. They're going to keep fighting. They're not going to stop. Jaylen said you got to win the fight and the game. Yeah. So they're alert to what's going to happen next year. And Peyton even said, we love it. We love the response we had in that moment, and we're ready to embrace more physicality and more fight in this series. So, and I guess the only other thing that stood out to me is Jaylen saying maybe in the past we wouldn't have responded that way. And in this moment, they showed that level of fight that they have now. So I just think all around, even going back to the moment, a good response from Boston there. And Miami, whatever it was, it was.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you can clearly tell the Miami Heat are fixated on making sure the Celtics do not get off to the kind of start that they had in Game 1. Obviously, 14-0 is not ideal for any team. But I think that they're really focused on that point because they think that that's what translated throughout the entire game. That's the reason why they never had a chance to even grab a single lead in Game 1. And I think that's what you expect from the Miami Heat in general. You know, get out to a great start. Don't let the Celtics get out to a humongous lead like that. And I think getting as many shots up as possible is clearly a priority. Something that we've heard from pretty much every Heat player that we spoke to during shooting around, and of course Eric Spoelstra himself. So volume is huge for these guys, and also just that physicality and taking away the space that essentially the Celtics created in those first 3 or 4 minutes that allowed them to get out to that huge lead in Game 1.
Agreed. We talked to Brady Hawk about it, discussed many of those things between shows there, or between games there. And next up, Game 2 tomorrow, 7 o'clock. We'll have coverage of it down at TD Garden, shoot-around coverage as well. He's Josue Pavon. Check him out on Twitter, as well as the Garden Report and CLNS Media.com, and all the rest, all the reaction to practice today up at CLNS Media as well. Subscribe here, Celtics All Access, for more reaction to practice, games. All the rest will be down in Miami as well this weekend, which we're looking forward to. So check it all out. Subscribe, show our sponsors some love. Big reason we're able to travel and do all that stuff. And we will see you at Game 2. I'm Bobby Manning. This has been a practice edition of the Garden Report.